Today, we're going to dive deep into the hidden world of robotics. Not the flashy code or the AI, but the steel. We're talking about fine motion technology and the absolutely critical hardware that's fueling a new robotic revolution.
You know, when you think of a robot's brain, you probably picture a silicon chip, right? But here's the thing. For the heavy-lifting industrial robots that build pretty much everything around us, the most critical part isn't silicone, it's steel. It's a piece of precision mechanical engineering that dictates a robot's strength, its accuracy, and its lifespan. It is the very foundation of modern manufacturing.
So let's get into it. Behind every single powerful, precise movement of a robotic arm, there's a crucial component, and for decades it's been monopolized. This is the story of how that monopoly got broken and why it matters for the future of, well, everything. We are talking about the RV reducer. The easiest way to think about it is as the load-bearing joint of a robot, kind of like its shoulder or its elbow. It's a super specialized gearbox that takes the high-speed, low-power motion from a motor and turns it into low-speed, high-torque power. Power that's needed to lift hundreds of kilograms with sub-millimeter precision thousands and thousands of times. Now, in the robotics world, you've basically got two main choices for these precision gears. On the right, you have harmonic drives. They're fantastic for light, super fast movements, like what you'd need in a robot's wrist. But for the real heavy lifting, the base, the shoulder, the main arm, you need the brute strength and the unyielding rigidity of an RV reducer. And that's exactly where our story is focused. So you might be wondering, why was this one component a monopoly for so long? Well, the simple answer is manufacturing one is incredibly difficult. It's like a mechanical black box that for years only a few companies in Japan really had the key to. And here you can see exactly why. Just look at the sheer complexity here. This isn't just a couple of gears we're talking about. It's a symphony of dozens of precision-engineered parts, crankshafts, planetary gears, cycloidal wheels, needle bearings, and they all have to work in perfect, microscopic harmony. If there's even one tiny flaw in a single part, the whole system just fails. This slide really gets to the mechanical heart of it, cycloidal motion. It's a very complex movement that allows for a massive gear reduction in a tiny space. What's happening is a smaller gear wobbles in a really precise pattern inside a larger one, creating just immense leverage. Think about the intricate precision of a Swiss watch, but then engineer it to withstand the brutal, repetitive forces of a giant industrial arm for tens of thousands of hours. It's an amazing piece of engineering. See, for a robot, precision is everything. A tiny little error at the joint can become a huge miss at the end of the arm. And that's why these two metrics are the absolute gold standard. And after more than a decade of just grinding away in R&D, here's the payoff. Fine motion standards for key things like backlash, that's the tiny bit of slack between gears, and transmission error now match the international giants. They didn't just copy the technology, they truly mastered the science behind it. All right, so let's shift to the business side of things. I mean, achieving technical quality was just step one. The next was capitalizing on a really powerful economic trend, import substitution. That's where domestic companies strategically start replacing foreign suppliers.
And wow, this chart just says it all, doesn't it? The blue bar, that's the longtime market leader, Japan's Tesco. Just watch their share plummet from over 51% to under 34% in just 3 years. Now look at the orange bar, that's fine motion. It's surging from 10% to nearly 25% in the exact same period. This is nothing short of a seismic shift in market dominance. So how on earth did they do it? Well, it wasn't just one thing. It was a multi-pronged attack. They worked super closely with China's own robot makers, offering them a better price and much faster local service. And maybe most importantly, they offered something the foreign incumbent couldn't: supply chain security. And that, right there, made them an essential partner, not just another supplier. But all this rapid success, it created a brand new, high-quality problem. By 2025, the production capacity utilization hit over 108%. I mean, let that sink in. They were literally running beyond their limits, completely unable to keep up with the overwhelming demand they had created for themselves. And that brings us to the company's future. To solve this bottleneck and really cement their position, Fine Motion is shifting from being just a substitute to becoming a foundational pillar of the global robotics supply chain. So here's the plan. They're using capital from an IPO for a massive expansion. First up, build a new smart factory to triple production capacity. Second, pour nearly $22 million into a brand new R&D center.
And third, and this is the really forward-looking part, use that R&D to get ahead of the next big wave, developing the super integrated lightweight joints needed for humanoid robots.
So if we zoom out, the long-term impact here is huge. This isn't just about one company's success. This is about breaking a monopoly on a critical component, which in turn lets an entire nation's robotics industry grow faster and more securely. They're evolving from a follower to a potential leader and a technology that will define the factories of tomorrow.
Which really just leaves us with this final thought. For decades, the most complex, most important mechanical parts of our automated world were built by a select few. That era is over. As intelligent machines become a part of every factory and maybe every home, the question isn't if they'll be built, but who's going to build their foundational moving parts.